My legs are starting to feel heavy. Soreness shows up inside and also outside of the gym. And I'm thinking, should I keep going? Am I even doing enough? Is it working? The break leads 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks on a break. I think I might have lost some progress. Or maybe I should switch out my program. Why does this week feel different? This sounds like the week most people quit. So by now, your nervous system is adapting to your workout. So you experience better coordination. You have some muscle growth. Your tissue seems to respond well. So your muscles are repairing and getting stronger. This is major when progressing and building a solid foundation for bigger muscles, right? Fatigue isn't failure, it's information. Listen to your body. While I'm in my squat cycle, I was squatting about 6 days a week, right? Every day I squat. On arm days I was squatting, full body days I was squatting because I was working toward reaching a new PR. But during that time, I was getting frustrated because I felt like I wasn't recovering fast enough. And I was kind of like losing my momentum, losing that motivation I had because I was so sore. After like 3 weeks in, I was so sore. I was asking my brother like, yo, what can I do? Like, I don't know, maybe I should stop this program because I feel so bad squatting every day. And he started asking me questions like, so what are you doing in between time? My sleep wasn't good. I wasn't eating in a way that was helping my body recover well enough. I wasn't drinking enough water. At that time, I didn't really know much about supplements. I wasn't taking protein powder, right? I wasn't taking my creatine, even L-glutamine. I didn't know anything about L-glutamine, right? I wasn't recovering fast enough. I was getting frustrated because I couldn't go on like this, right? It wouldn't be a cycle if I didn't squat every day. A lot of times accumulated fatigue gets mistaken for it just isn't working. So in all actuality, my body was just learning, right? So what helped was I'm making adjustments to support my recovery. So once he kind of told me that, I went back to the drawing board and I was like, okay, so what can I do to support my progress, but also help me recover? And I noticed I had to make a lot of changes, right? So I wasn't quitting, I was adjusting my fitness program outside of the gym. So things like, how can I simplify my workouts, focus on what foods will aid in my recovery, learn about creatine. And I noticed that was a must have. I don't know why I wasn't taking creatine this whole time. Also started taking L-glutamine to help me nourish my muscles, help me recover in the appropriate amount of time. Also upping my sleep. Instead of getting like 6 hours of sleep, I started sleeping between 8 and 10 hours. So I go to sleep exactly at 9 o'clock. And then the game changer was when I learned about mobility. Warming up and cooling down, I wasn't doing any of that, okay? I was coming in the gym and was just getting right into my back squats every single day. I didn't have a warm-up routine. I was going in cold. When I think about cold muscles, it scares me. Now what I do is I take 5 to 10 minutes before my main lift and I get in a proper warm-up routine, workouts that mimic my lifts. I say this in every episode because it's so helpful. And then I like to also do a light load of back squats. If back squats are my main lift, I'm going to do 1 set of 10 with no weight, just the rack, just the bar, okay? I want to get in motion. I want to prime my body for the movement before I load up. And that 1 set of 10 is a game changer because by the time I'm ready to do my 1 set of 20 or my 3 sets of 10, I'm so confident in the movement because I prepped before that. I did plated squat holds or rig squats before that. I warmed up my hips, did some 990s or Dr. Rockbacks, or I did the world's greatest stretch. Then I get into that 1 set of 10 with just the bar and no weight. By the time I get to that main lift, I am so ready. I feel like I already won, okay? And I didn't even start rep 1 yet. So let's just say I lived, I learned, and now I know better. So the major thing I would say, I stopped trying to push through those days, right, of frustration, of soreness, right? My body needed clarity instead of all that intensity. So I definitely slowed things down. So instead of thinking I'm not built for this, I can't do this during the squat cycle, I can't squat every day. When I was trying to learn the front squat, I don't think I can do this. Now I say this to myself, let's try, right? My body is learning, it's adapting. But with the learning part, you're gathering information about your body, muscle imbalances, where you're sore. Take that information in gym and create warm-up routine. Create strategies outside of the gym to aid in fixing those things like muscle imbalances, soreness. Maybe you feel tired, right? So during that time, I was struggling with moving better because I was so sore, and I was praying for like answers. And then I realized, like, Deanna, you need to get in a mobility routine. You need to learn how to move better to do better, move better to be strong. So I like to always think stability, mobility, strength. That's kind of how I view things. You need those three to progress in your program and also feel good in everyday life, to do regular life tasks, right? So I created a warm-up that keeps me calm and preps my body for the workout, right? We want our nervous system to feel safe, feel like, hey, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy. I feel good in this position, right? We want to have more intrinsic motivation. So we are reducing stiffness out, forcing flexibility. So before I could do adductor rock backs, because I felt like I have really, really tight hips, I did a simple regression that I like to use right now with my clients, rocking hip shift. So with the rocking hip shift, you're starting on your hands and knees, also gently rocking, right? Moving your hips backward towards your heels without rounding your back. You want to focus on opening up your hips gradually. It also teaches you more about control in that hip flexion area. So I do adductor rock backs or rocking hip shifts before entering my leg day main lifts. So what helped me wasn't quitting. It was adjusting how I support my recovery. So instead of doing nothing and just quitting, right? I simplified my routine because I definitely had a lot more exercises in my daily routine than I probably should have. I strategically planned out a warm-up routine that will aid in helping me move better, but also get stronger with my main lifts and also in real life, right? Also, you find yourself, maybe you should go and use a lighter load. I talk about deload weeks all the time. I love a good deload week. When I start to feel a little bit frustrated, I just don't like quit and scratch the program. I like to do a deload week, maybe 4 to 6 weeks in, which means doing less reps or doing 10% less volume than you did before, okay? This helps you focus on the form a little bit better, focused on weight as much or progressing in weight. I really can focus on my form, notice what's working well, notice what's not working well, and then at that moment, I can adjust my program if it's working for me or if it's not working for me, okay? So I did notice in my one set of 20, I did kind of swap out some workouts. That's another thing you can do. I'm not going to swap out my whole program, but I'm definitely going to swap out what I think it's not working. And during that deload week, I noticed I was doing iso holds after my one set of 20 rep max. And I felt like in this particular program, trying to build confidence in doing more repeatable movements, the iso holds could wait until maybe like more of my performance programs, right? So instead of doing iso hold split squats, I decided just to do split squats and start with no weight and then work my way back up during the next 4 weeks. So with the split squats, it adds balance training after that fatigue from the one set of 20 back squats and reinforces clean movements after being under that fatigue, right? That one set of 10 helps you feel the work and not enough to like dread it, okay? We're not burning out during this workout routine. So the big takeaway is fatigue doesn't equal failure. Fatigue actually equals feedback. That's what it equals. So if this week usually makes you feel like you want to quit, right? This trial, the 7-day free trial, shows you how to commit, right? Without forcing the movements, helping you work with your nervous system, helping you feel calmer and more confident. So if this video was helpful, I hope that it motivates you in your next coming weeks. Comment below what workouts you may be struggling with or what workouts you decided to swap out, like me, iso holds and split squat, okay? It wasn't about me quitting. It was about editing my program to be successful and to progress in my fitness journey. And I do this all the time. So I'll see you guys in my next video. Stay tuned during this one set of 20 confidence cycle series.
As I get a little older, I realize life is perspective. And my perspective may differ from yours. I want to say thank you to everyone that's been down with me.